We're back. I don't know. Formatting 13, yes. I don't know if this is gonna be a part of putting Windows on a Mac or a part of Home Automation 101 with Arduino. Anywho, for anybody that remembers this entire system, well, basically, we got this motherfucker, which is about 5 volt power temp sense. Then we got this one, which is temp sensor plus the reset. And we got our reset terminal right there. And well, pretty much half of the other shit. So number 3 is a ground. So pretty much this is our digital pins, right? So this is the analog for reading. So I suppose in ground and reason I could put these cables over, put this cable underneath here, just cause, and then plug you into the ground terminal right there. And well, getting my iFixit kit because that screw was too tiny. So because basically, for anybody that knows, well, first of all, my button for my floor heat ain't exactly working. Second of all, my reflector oven died. So basically, I'm trying to get some forms of heat in my bathroom, which hopefully should work if everything we have done here is according to plan. Now, we still got left to figure this out, but if everything did go to plan, it should work. So this one is gonna give power to the actual circuitry. So yeah. And well, if this one could be a little more cooperative with me, I should be able to throw a fuse on here without getting ripped to the next fucking dimension. Which then means this one can go off. Now, in ground and reason, this one is supposedly supposed to be the ground terminal, which should work fine, supposedly. And then there should be wires coming out there, jumping into this block, and then out from here should be coming the wires that's going to go into these contactors. That is a little sticky at the moment, effectively giving power over to other shit. So that's how that's supposed to work. Anywho, so we got this one in here now. Then we have the 5 volt for the temp sense and shit, which supposedly, what is this number 8 supposed to be? 5 volt plus, yeah, because that was before when we had to give power to the actual Arduino via there, because we didn't have an external power adapter, or well, that was our plan of action before shit kinda just went to hell. And well, we had to revert to other matters. We might still do that in the final one if I can get a 230 volt to 5 volt step down converter, but that's that depends on if China is shipping is gonna be a little more comprehensive. Can you get into the 5 volt, please? I said, please get into the 5 volt. Is somebody stuck in the 5 volt, or what's your problem? Or do I need to open this motherfucker even more? Thank you. Jesus Christ. Thank you. Okay, so now 13 and 14 I believe is that output com signal output potentiometer. Well, you don't say where the fuck you go, which is kind of a problem, because I do not remember in my head if analog 1 or analog 2 were the actual schlonkadonk. So
might as well go ahead and set that to we'll set the button text activate. Oops, what did I type in? Activate. Okay, cool. I was like, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and set this to a light blue. Button mode, what is that? Oh, okay, let's do that. Oh yeah, that's right. We need the screen controller now. So this little fella,
well, I should be able to just pull up the project locally, hopefully.
It has only 9 rules that require no power. We'll need to have a controller. One controller can power many screens as long as they have
Relay pin. Relay pin 1, relay pin 2. Thermistor pin 0. Potentiometer pin. Relay pin 1, 2, analog read. Thermistor pin. Thermistor pin är 0, så R1 plus R2. Log R2. Så analog 12 rillepinn, fluorpinn, så vill det da si at termistorpinn er analog 0 da, og så er ja, da tror jeg termistorpinn er 0, så jeg skal grønn på 0, og så skal gul på nummer 1. Yellow number 1. I brought my screwdriver, didn't I? Yes, I did.
Scan one screen, and we have this guy. So check that.
So the green one is output temp sensor, which is this one. That one is going to go under, and it's going to go to analog read. So yeah, so a 0, which is this one. So you go into a 0. Now we do not have a potentiometer rigged on this thing at the moment, which is kind of a honky tonk, but no, I believe pot temp, yes, because we needed to have that reset on the pot temp as well, I believe. Potentiometer output is a yellow one, obviously, so that one goes on to analog, analog very short if you ask my ass, but sure. Goes on to analog 1. There we go. So there, that's fine. And then we got the digital outputs, so now I just gotta figure out which of them is the floor heat and which of them is supposed to be the oven heat. Rellepinn 12, rellepinn 13. Vel begge to output, men ingen av dem sier hva Sent i low, og så har den analog. Ja, det er bare print temperature, det. Ja, stemmer det, fordi vi hadde dem på separat før, men så bestemte vi oss til å putte dem på samme, bare for time being, så i bunn og grunn så har det ikke så mye å si da, men 12 og 13, så I guess vi tar kontaktord og vind. Nummer 1 og kontrakt, nummer 2 floor heat, så I guess digital 12 får bli floor, og så får digital 13 become our floor heat. No, oven heat. There we go. So basically what we need to do in order to get this to work now, here's the thing, because inside of here is the adapter circuitry. I mean, we could just do bloop, but the problem then is that we also need to feed power over here, because we need to feed power into there, which means we do need 2 outlets anyway. So we kind of need to, I mean, I could split this thing open and do it that way, or I could do it in some kind of other janky way, but anywho, I've installed that in, and these were our 5V for our Arduino. For time being, these are non-related, so those can go out. We do not have a potentiometer on here yet, so that doesn't matter. Which means I need brown wire, I need a piece of blue wire. Or well, white for that matter. Well, non-existent with blue. We have a grounding wire and we have other shit, but I suppose we could grab the grounding wire, because I suppose we can get use for the grounding wire, because I believe out of that one that is coming for the floor heat, I believe there is a grounding cable on there, which would make sense because it's a wet room.
How to actually get this working a little bit better and a little bit more reliably, so you guys do have some ideas.
As far as this thing goes,
Also, when I had to cook one of the comments from last episode, someone told me we could rename this to the iron relay power switch, but it's a little bit of an issue. Basically, I don't know if I can.
so basically one of these, well, basically we're gonna have one neutral, which is gonna be, so basically this contactor right here is gonna feed both a neutral and a other one through there, technically speaking. I believe that's how this entire shite is supposed to work out. So yeah, so there are you. Now we don't have any blue, which is kind of a problem. And I don't have any white either, which would then theoretically be secondary. I do have a blue there, but it's kind of in use. I suppose I could, well, the big question is what kind of cables they have used, because they have probably used different wiring than what we have. Because, well, I don't use UK stuff. Well, I mean, it's still blue and stuff. It doesn't seem like it's the correct thickness, but that may be solvable depending on which one I choose. Well, these are about the same thickness, so these wouldn't matter, but I suppose, I guess, as long as I get the cable I need, it doesn't really matter.
I think they're called inserters. That's right. I like these little guys.
Now, where the fuck is my
holiday? I did as well. Until I got,
knife?
well, you know, a little under the weather.
Under the weather person.
Okay, holidays are over. It's decided to spend a little time with family and stuff and all that goodness. And then right after, it's just like, hey, guess what? Time to get sick. Well, I can't be healthy all throughout the year, I suppose.
Well, I don't know where the fuck it went, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take the alternative, which is kitchen knife.
Alright, here I want to say I'm going to go that way. And before we actually go any further, we're going to sit through the night. If stuff happens at night, don't like that. Nice sleeping. I really need to set up something to keep that from happening. We do have the weather controller installed, and we could get that working, but that requires killing things I don't really only kill. So, do I really want to run this right next to
There. Why does things gotta disappear when I need them? Why?
Ooh, you know what we could do? If we right click on this with a wrench? Wrench? No? Oh, no, I think it's... There we go. A chisel! Chisel makes everything better. Doesn't really change the way the bottom looks, but the top looks better.
I swear to God, I had it.
We're gonna run this off this way.
Why does everything have to disappear when I need it? Why?
Press iron is going to
Oh. Nande. Oh, I swear to God. There's always something. Swear to God, it's always something. Well, yes. Hi. Cable doesn't even split apart now. That's a great start.
This is a pretty cool new addition to new Minecraft. We're going to need a block of compressed iron, thus that thing, and we're going to need a little bit more. We're going to need gold, and we're going to need to craft ourselves a cannon barrel. So we're also going to need some more compressed iron. We're going to need some more compressed iron, and we're going to need to set up some glass. And we need to set up this little fella right here, the resin. So it looks like we're going to need 5 pieces of gold altogether. Right? 5 pieces of gold. Let's actually go ahead and write this down. 5 gold. And then we're also going to need 9, 10.
Well, destroying my teeth in the process, I suppose.
16, 18 pieces of making this actually yields us 8 pressure tubes.
Now, here's the problem with American manufacturers. No, they do not leave any form of margins. So that way when somebody like me, an European, comes to do shit on it, it's a pain in the butt, because we're used to not having pain in the butt shit like this. Now, if I just could find that X-Acto knife of mine, this wouldn't be a problem. Because I'm fucking blind. Swear to God, fucking hell.
Ender chest, real quick, because we're going to set a chest to produce ourselves a little bit of gold constantly. We're going to have glass. I think we can set up some stuff for that, but we're going to need gold and a little bit of cobblestone and sticks. So we're going to set that up in our ender chest. Back in just more, guys. And we're back in our compact warehouse. So went ahead and set up a few things and went ahead and crafted up a redstone furnace, just something real basic and easy. Just use the basic machine machine frame, something simple, and we're going to go ahead and set ourselves up on this blue interchest. This is going to supply us with a constant iron. We're also going to set this up to give us constantly 10 pieces of gold. Should request those and bring those in here. There we are. Nice. I'm also going to go ahead and tell it I want 10 wooden sticks at all times and 10 pieces of cobblestone. It's like, so there we are. Now we have everything I believe that we're going to be wanting and or needing. I'm going to go check something out. I believe we told one of our machines in here somewhere how to craft sticks. So let me see. I think it might be this one. Okay. I think if we take a look at this, now we can also compact this a little bit more than what we actually have. I just thought it looked kind of cool the way I had it set up currently. But we should be able to fix this up and make it look a lot better later on. So looks like we have a system to make sticks. The only way to find out though, request 30. Nope, not at all. Alright, well, let's do that real quick. Now we're building the logistics crafting table. We're just gonna do a quick and dirty one. My crafting logistics type that. And we'll just toss this guy there and that guy right there. Grab ourselves a couple plates. We'll just do this.
Oh, thank you. Now these are supposedly too small for the type of load. We're supposed to put like, these are like 07 or whatnot. And the ones we're using is 2.5, but I suppose you can't do much. So I suppose for the time being we could just use these just to test shite. Because basically what we're gonna have to do, because we need to power everything off of that thing, is that one is gonna have to be jammed in between in order for, well, our stuff to work properly. So basically we take these, we take this one, we take this, and basically we do this. And then we have, like, you know, the point where, you know, an extra pair of hands would be nice, but you don't have an extra pair of hands, so you kind of just have to work with what you got. You know, it's a pain in the butt. But if I can just well, that did not work. Excuse me, but well, I got one way I can get this to work. I just need some extra wire. What I can do is, you know, rip this off, flip this around like this, and then, well, you know, pop out this fork a little bit, and then, you know, just you know, just go underneath. Then, you know, if you have enough of a bending radius on it, I should be able to just go down in there. Thank you. And then, you know, please don't hook on anything, as you obviously did, you piece of fuck. And yes, I know this is normally used for DIN rails, just don't mention it because I'm just trying to get the system to work, okay, folks? Just don't. I suppose, you know what, when I think about it, I suppose I have a better way of doing this. Must admit, I kind of feel a little stupid at the moment. But it's fine, because we learn from our mistakes. So, let's cut this fucker down again. And then let's throw on this fork. And then let's give this thing a crimp. Shall we? There we go. And there we go. We got one crimp. It's sturdy enough. And we have our other cable, which we also give a crimp. So then, instead of, you know, working my butt off trying to get the shit to fit, no, just, well, I'm still probably gonna do that to begin with to make it a little easier for me to get my cable down there. But besides from that, when I've actually got her down in there, don't mind if I do. And I'll tighten down both my top cable and my power cable for, you know, the Arduino. Thank you very much. So then you can go underneath here. Thank you very much. For power for everything else per se, which in ground reason, when I think about it, can stick out this way. Then, well, we pop on the other one as well. There we go. And flip everything back over. And boom, bada bing. There we go. So that means that now in ground reason we got power here, we got honk there. Everybody is supposed to be happy. Now, basically, I could just drop this entire chunk and just go direct. But I think I shall not. So I'm gonna snip those off. I'm gonna do strip off a piece on each of these, and then 1 and 2 contact. Now wait a minute, so that's the number 11. So 11 is neutral pass through, 12 is L1 pass through, so doesn't really make sense, but sure enough. So number 11 here is our neutral pass through. There we go. And then the second one is out through, and then the other one is the neutral pass through, which just comes straight through from the front, and then that's going to be fed into, you know, the actual apparatus that is connected. So that one doesn't really matter. So there we go. Let me tighten up you. Then we have our neutral right there. Okay, never mind. That's why you pull check the wires, because you never know. Suddenly you think you've gotten it in the terminal, but then it's not in the terminal, and if that happened when power was on, something could have gone terribly wrong. Okay, so now that one is in the terminal, right? Yes. These are in the terminal. Which means boom, there you are, but you got no insulation below there, which is kind of not a good thing. So I'm gonna grab some insulation tape, or not insulation tape, but some just the regular, no, masking tape, just to, you know, be on the safe side. As long as it's not direct contact to contact, it should be fine. So I suppose I could put a few on the long side too, just to, you know, be safe. Because there is stuff on the underside of that board. It's just 5 volts, so it's like, it's not too bad, but you know, just wanting to be on the safe side. So there we got you. Then we got the power plugging into the board, which is currently about to fall off the edge. So if you don't mind me, I'll bring it back here to kind of stabilize it. Then we have this entire mesofaka honk. So basically, T1 is going to be our L1, and then this is a 4-pole contactor, which means we'll have 3-phase plus north. So basically L1 plus north is what we're going to be feeding this thing at the moment. So basically I'm gonna cut one cable, and then I'm gonna cut a second cable, I believe. Well, yes, because we need to, and I'm gonna explain the reason why we need to in a little bit. We'll figure it out eventually. Just need to. I'm just going to do that to kind of feed them in together in a way. There we go. And then one of these is going to be just our live feed going directly into T1/L1 on the first contactor. So that's just fine, normal stuff, nothing to worry about here. That's just, you know, normal contactor stuff. There we go, that one's in there fine. Second one is gonna go to this one, I believe. So, well, none of them is connected at the moment, so for the time being it doesn't really matter. But in ground reason number 2 is 5-volt contactor floor heat. So the number 2 is supposedly this one, which means this one is the one that's gonna give the 5 volt to this thing, which means I believe we got the 14, this one, which is gonna provide down to the number 12, which is why I'm gonna go and get my phone and take a look at my old setup for this thing.
Maybe we just need to clear this thing out and have it like reset or something.
So I'm just gonna scroll through my album real quick, and I'll get back to you guys. And maybe I have it in like moved in, but been moved in for months thing. If I do, then that's gonna drastically help with shit. Not the most power in the world, but sure.
Well, that can work, but let's do it this way. Alright, so we just use the cobblestone and we're just going to grab ourselves this. Go ahead and grab a stack of iron as well. And we stack up this. That's all the demolition and my little house there. There's plenty of logs for later. Also, we need to go ahead and have access to our crafting calculator here. Just fine. Let's go ahead and set it up right here with these two.
Here we go.
These two gives us all that we need.
Now I forgot to wet my sponge, so do that real quick.
This calculator, we should be able to grab
And I'm also gonna bring that one, because, well, these reasons. I don't know what the fuck that was, but was something. Luckily nothing of this stuff. So we should be fine here still. Go. So I'm gonna get this one out and I'm gonna do that. Then we're gonna need a little bit of red to be appropriate. Shouldn't need too much for the time being. I'll take about that much. That way I can put some back in. Well, if it wants to cooperate, that is. I forgot to bring my stripper, of course. So that's a great start. I'm just trying to get this shite up and working temporarily now. I got installed Arduino on that one, so I can bring that one around and check the other one to see if we have console log output. We should do, I mean, it should be fine. The problem on the other one we already know. It was the EEPROM that had been ripped into too many times, so that shouldn't be a problem anymore in reality. So we should be set.
Sounds like an amazing number. We like the number 20. Calculate you and you. And then our two inserters are going to go back here. Flippity flopping around. And afterwards, we'll go and set up conveyor belts. Sending this one. Take up 105.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can just stand on them. That's one of the reasons why you do like these conveyor belts. Like you can actually stand on them. They don't actually interact with the conveyor.
Then we go back to this fucker, and then we grab our pair of yellow wire. And since we have, well, a fair amount of this wire, I'm going to be ordering more of this silicone wire. Because, well, I use it for guitar builds and shit, and it's very nice to use for like low power electronics like this system, like for signal travel and all that kind of stuff. So should be fine. Excuse me. Okay, did I just do the thing and then just put the thing out here again or what? No, I did not. Where the fuck? Okay, am I blind? I must be blind, yes, because I put the fucker under here, that's why I'm blind. Lonk. Bloody Christ.
Let's do it. Tin chests. Stacking tin and iron. We can make plenty of them. That was conveyor belts. You don't need that many, so we've got 10 of them. And go. And go. We'll just make a plenty of hoppers for now. Alright. We've got 2 of these. That's all we really need for those. And that is pretty awesome. You might want to flip them around. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. Just fine out. I'm guessing.
Now I want you to stay in there. So like I don't want you to just all of a sudden pop out or whatnot. I'm gonna try to overlay it somewhat.
Whoa! No! Stop that. Alrighty then. Okay, so here's where our first problem lies. We're gonna pick up these 2 inserters real quick. And what we need to do is, you can see there's a little green line on the side.
Okay, there we go. Så här shooting around and reason be the last, well, work that needs to be done for our temperature selector. Here's all the cables, should be all the work that needs to be done. The rest will just connect to terminals, so it shouldn't matter.
Now we just have to worry about our inserters pulling the wrong side of our
Okay, so that means we're done with this entire chunk. Clonk out of the way. You out of the way. You out of the way. This one ahead. Also, I figured out of the stuff, so brown in the bottom goes out, brown in the top goes down, and then out into A2, and then we got the neutral on A1. And there we go. And then we have this one, which is going to turn around and, well, plug onto the A2 terminal and stay there. So there we have you. And then we have our howdy Cat 5e cable. Then we have a few cables we have to care about. So this one, which is going to give the which is going to give power to the A1 of that contactor. It's going to be plugged into the same terminal as this one, number 11, which means we need to screw her out, plug in the new cable, screw it in again, So that way she tightens on both, and yes, she does. Which means I should then be able to cut her here. Should then be able to strip her here. And then I should be able to let up on this body a little. Try and see what the fuck I'm doing. Now let's hope that that one actually made it onto the poles. As it did, because she's stuck in there. So then we got this one, which is going into the actual thing, which is then gonna plug on to this number 14NO, which is quote unquote neutral, coming from our neutral port. Now I'm a little conspicuous. Well, no, because there is no neutral coming out there, because before it was coming out there. That's how it is. So it's fine. Everything here is, technically speaking, totally fine. There we go. And I'm gonna feed this cable underneath here, just for, well, neatness sake. Bye. Honk. What the hell? What the fuck? Oh, it's the railgun.
Alright guys, then we're back to explosion coming in. Wow, internet just perfectly timed.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was timing. I just hear boom, and back in here when that door is open, this thing turned into a base chamber. So it's like horrendous. And then A1 plus, A1 minus, so I believe the top ones is ground, and the bottom ones are quote unquote not ground. One tiny problem, I don't have much black wire left really, besides from, well, black wire but not silicone wire. That is then this black wire itself. I mean, it's not that thick, so it should be fine, but not my preferred cable for 5 volts, but I suppose if you don't have anything else, you do what you gotta do, right? So basically, because this is a solid core, so it's not really that workable per se. I was about to say where the fuck's the hole, but you found it. Well, I found it eventually. Well, you know, the fun thing is going to be fitting 3 of these, or 2 of these, plus that one thinner one into my into the block. That's what's gonna be the fun thing, per se. It's gonna be feeding both of these two into the same block. If not, I'll need to feed them into a separate block and then feed them again by the other block in order to well, this can be this can get quite interesting. But pretty much we need to open this shite fully wide open in order to even be able to fit both of these cables in here. So there we have one cable. There we have the second cable. Then we just gotta hope that they're both within the, or well, all of the cables are within the clamp. Well, they're in, those are in, so hopefully all of that is in. So now we need quote unquote blue cable. Which is then gonna go from that to that and from that to that. So now number 1, contactor oven. And contactor oven is the inner one, which means I suppose it is all correct. So there we go. 1, 2, and then, well, feed this fork through. Now, obviously, these are going to be fun to feed in. It's just, it's starting to get a little filled back here with cables. Normally this would be in a more proper rack and mounted when I'm doing this, but right now I'm just trying to connect up shit and just get shit kind of working, and you know, care about the box later. If you're asking me is what I'm implying is that I'm planning to test run this on top of this box, yes, that's exactly what I'm planning to. So contactor oven is that one, which means this one is going on number 1. I don't care if it's all loose at the moment, as long as it works, that's all that matters. Now I believe I need a resistor to reset that one too, but the ground is connected to the other ground of you, so hopefully should be fine, shouldn't be a problem. I suppose time will tell if that's true or if I just completely fucked shit. Well, one thing's for sure, I already fucked trying to get this thing into the fucking terminal, because I don't see what the fuck I'm doing. number 2. A little more. There we go. There we go. Which means in ground and reason this entire board is now hooked up. Well, everything is hooked up besides from the big question now is in the bathroom, really. Which, well, I'm just gonna use these for now, but is which of these motherfuckers are the actual power and which of these motherfuckers are I believe the black wire is supposedly the ground. That is what makes sense, at least if I mark that one black. So I'm gonna put it on ground and hope that it actually reads temperature. I might have to calibrate it again, since, well, now I'm gonna cut these back a little. Hopefully I can do that fine with this fucker. Yes, I can, thank you. So, data plus ground is green and the power is orange. So let's wrap this out. And, well, frankly, I don't know why this cable is here, because in ground and reason this blue cable is not going to a single shape, but sure. So let's plug temperature sensor in there. Now that's the black one, so we'll plug you onto the green one, since your data, supposedly. And then we have you, which is supposedly the 5 volt power that plugs into the, well, 5 volt power. And we got this motherfucker, which I'll cut properly later, but for now I'm just gonna rip that one right off there, because nobody ever cared about you. Hey.
This is actually something I accidentally pulled out of, yeah, so there's a little donation tip jar down below, and everyone that wants to support and everything can, by all means. And
Telefonminut där.
you to message me stuff as well. So this is from Playmo Girl. $5. Hello, baby.
Well, you're all scarred. That temperature sensor kinda putting our theory into play. Så har vi nog då den här då, 5 volt tempsams, så där har vi komresat plus tempsams. Kärming här i 6 och 4. Och så har vi ju då dessa 2 kontaktorna och allt det här. Den här är strömmar gärna där, och så har vi strömmen till resten av circuit som kommer ut gärna din ren. Den här slipper ni nog av då, men i bunn och grund så ska jag kan plugga i den här nu. Så ska den där vara fin. Så jag ska koppla den på, så där har du det potentiometret, så jag loddar jäveln en gång här då. Well. Så förhoppningsvis så släpper jag problemet med 5 volten detta av som...
You didn't see my message. If you can stream in 60 FPS, so much smoother. There's a very good possibility.
Well, that was loud. Så då släpper jag 5 volten detta, för det har skett för, men i bunn och grund så ska jag nog kunna... Bägge kontakterna slås jag på, men... den andra kontaktorn här är ju inte så mycket, så jag måste ta ju en liten research på det, men... jag finner ut av det. Gör jag. Spørsmålet nå er jo hvorfor at den kontaktoren her ikke funker. Det kan være en del grunner til. Først av alt det kan være at den her er så langt inn at den har ikke ordentlig kontakt med det her. Som kan være en ting som den i hvert fall skal ha nå. Og du skal nå få 13 pluss, og du skal nå få gjennom nå. Så fjerner vi neutral fra live. Så plugger vi neutron på det som faktisk er neutral. So then we plug what's actually neutral onto neutral. There we go. And then we grab these two, which... well, in grounded reason per se are, well, are live, and plug those into live. So supposedly you're stuck in there, you're stuck in there. Well, now that we have the cables correct, and well, maybe if you plug in the fucking power again, my guy. So now, there the second contactor goes, because now we got the live on the correct one and the neutral on the correct one, because I was sending this motherfucker 2 neutrals instead of sending it a neutral and a live. So now this entire circuit works how it's supposed to do. So now I just gotta plug into this thing, recalibrate that temp sensor, and we should be ready to go. Well, now that we have the cables correct, and well, maybe if you plug in the fucking power again, my guy. So now, there the second contactor goes, because now we got the... So now in ground and reason, I should be able to take this motherfucker. I should be able to connect into that Arduino. Potentiometers at 0C. Väl, det ser ut som jag har temperaturinformation, men 3 Celsius, ja, vi må justere det potentiometret her igjen. Der, nei, det trenger vi ikke. «24, 26, 27, give me 28, 28, 29, I want 28. Well, there we go. System works. Väl, det ser ut som jag har temperaturinformation, men well, using a sweet as time uploading, but väl, det ser ut som jag har temperaturinformation, men 3 Celsius, ja, vi må justere det potentiometret her igjen. Der, nei, det trenger vi ikke. 24, 26, 27, give me 28, 28, 29, I want 28. Well, there we go. System works. Yes, system works. For some reason, if this fucker gets warm enough, I should be able to hear that motherfucker kick out from the inside if I just hold the temperature sensor, because we're clearly getting a proper temperature reading, which means I don't have to recalibrate this thing. Or well, roughly it's saying 20 to 21, but I should be able to hear that contactor kick out. Yep. Well, system works. Well, there we go. I heated up the probe to 28 degrees, contactor kicked out, let it sink down to below 27, and contactor kicked in again. So, system works. And well, for you, Moes, if you're wondering where I'm getting the temperature information from, well, there's the temperature info. Well, system works.
I mean, I'm thinking we really need it like right here. I don't really mind the shield generators at all. I think they look kind of cool. I kind of want to change up the the way they look a little bit, I think, and not just because you guys know, check some things. Cool, we haven't dropped any things. That's wonderful. And thank you guys so much for following me. Good for you.
Well, that means that in ground and reason our concept of that bathroom heating system is actually put into place, kind of. And it's actually making sense. Now, the only thing we don't have hooked up to it at the moment is the floor heat. And well, technically speaking, we're supposed to have a reflector oven that's supposed to be up on the wall, but we have not gotten that yet. And while the oven I could have used as a testing oven is currently on my balcony because it died on me. So, well, here we are. So yeah.
Well, that was also another sign where I couldn't take it anymore. I really, I was so used to having her with me all the time, and when she wasn't there next to me, I couldn't take it anymore. And so I decided to drop what I was doing instantly within like that day and make my way to where her family.
Because if you were wondering about that oven, here is where this oven stands. I don't know what it is, I just came into the bathroom one day and noticed that the temperature was lower than usual, and well, what do you know? This thing didn't want to power on, and I have a feeling it's one of those like fuses in there on like the elements that has come to heck and back, but I don't know, because I didn't see it when it actually stopped working, so God knows what it can be, but I think I'm gonna buy another set of red paint and give the outside of this shite a little bit of a cleaner. Well, honestly, swap out these panels too and repaint them because they're not looking the greatest. Some people might say that it's the landlord's job, but here in Norway we have like this thing like with the apartment. If you're leasing the apartment, you are responsible for your apartment unless it's like bigger things like a gigantic water leak that does physical damage and stuff. But like, well, if you don't know how to deal with it, you of course call in a certified or a guy that knows what I'm doing. But I know how to do plumbing, I know how to do electric stuff. I have a buddy of mine which has education within it, so if there needs to be paper signed, I can get him to come over, and he knows that I know what I'm doing, so he's fine with doing that. And there again, I have education within building and timber work, within welding and steel and mechanical work, and I also have my main education, which is building service operator. So I work in the line of servicing buildings, making sure everything is on, well, my education is within that. I don't work within that line of work right now because obviously I do my YouTube and stuff, but my education is within that, so yeah. Just gonna keep this door open a little bit because it's quite toasty in here. The system works. Come, well, there we go. I heated up the process.